What we're going to do now is sit down and look at each different type of reticle and learn how to maximize the use of each one of them. First off, we're going to go to a duplex reticle, probably the same reticle that you started out shooting with when you was young. All right, looks something just like this, straight line crosshair, heavy duplex up top and on the sides. All right, now traditionally what we used to do is just zero the crosshairs either at 100 meters, 100 yards, or we'd zero the gun to where it was actually impacting a couple inches high, which would actually give us some kind of a max point blank benefit and would allow us to shoot at targets, 2, maybe 300 meters with a little bit of holdover when we got up to 300 and 400. All right. If you look at the reticle, though, we can actually take and turn this reticle into a ballistic reticle. All right. If you actually zero the weapon system here, you can actually now, once you know what this measurement is, all right, there are several different ways to find that measurement. If you have another type of reticle like a mill dot reticle where you can actually line this up now and actually mill the difference from the duplex to the crosshair or all the way from one duplex to the other, then we have a unit of measure. Or you could even take a tape measure out there and figure out exactly what that would actually mean in mils. But once you zero here, let's just say that this is equivalent to 1 mil here and this is equivalent to 1 mil here. All right, what is a 1 mil hold? All right, for the weapon systems that we've been utilizing, a 1 mil hold would be somewhere around 254 meters. All right, so that puts our crosshair at 254. All right, so now what is a 2 mil hold? 2 mil hold is going to be somewhere around 360. So our bottom duplex is now 360. All right, so now instead of just having a crosshair and being zeroed on the crosshair, maybe a couple inches high where we can reach out, but now we're having to fudge. Long-range precision is nothing about fudging. We're not trying to guess. We're trying to do something very accurately. So even with a old-school reticle, just an old-school duplex reticle, we can zero our crosshair here, be zeroed at 254 meters, and then be somewhere around 360 meters out depending on your muzzle velocity. So again, it helps to have the actual PDAs you can run through a ballistic program, and there's a lot of different ones you can actually utilize. Now the problem that you're going to run into is, let's say this is a 3 to 9 power scope. All right, once you have a 3 to 9 and you're running this at full power when you zero the weapon system, when you back that power off, everything's going to start changing. The one thing that doesn't change is your 254 meter zero. That stays constant. Your 100 meter zero up here isn't 100 meters anymore. So if you actually back it out to half power, and what you have to understand, half power isn't necessarily half power on what's marked on your scope. So if you take a 3 to 9 and actually turn it back to 4.5, you would assume that's half power. But you actually need to check it. What you need to do initially is mark top duplex here, bottom duplex here, and then take and turn your scope down until your crosshair is here and the bottom duplex is here. All right, this would actually tell you that now you're exactly half power on that scope. No matter what it says on the ring, this is half power now. So once you get to that, this now becomes your 100 meter zero. Your 254 actually stays the same at all times. But what does that do? Once we're at half power, this is equivalent to a mil, this is equivalent to a mil, now this is equivalent to 2. Make sense? All right, so now we're 1 mil down from our zero here at 254, but now we have 2 mils worth of use past that. So now our bottom duplex is really equivalent now to 3 mils. All right, so a 3 mil hold for your weapon system is going to be somewhere real close to 435 meters. All right, so now when we actually change, we'll move this over here to full power, all right, at 360. But when we are at half power, this here turns to 435. All right, so again, by manipulating the power ring on our magnification, we can actually very accurately turn a standard duplex reticle into something that's more useful, and you can actually reach out to range instead of going, I don't know, I held a foot over his back, that kind of stuff. So now we can actually utilize this, and you can continue to back down your power ring. All right, so as you do that, you can work further down, and all these numbers will change. But again, you can go out and shoot it, but it's much faster. Once you know what each line represents in mils, it's pretty fast to run it through a ballistic computer. If you know your muzzle velocity and your ballistic coefficient, your density altitude, you can actually run this through a ballistic computer or ballistic solver and actually have real precise holes all the way out to distance. Yes?
Got a question for you, Todd. If you back it off a little bit more because you're trying to work on work on getting a little bit further with your scope. Would your center cross here, no matter what, always stay at 254? It's just that you pick up more mils on the bottom. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, absolutely. And really, basically, we're zeroing here, you know, at 100 meters, but really we're zeroing at 100 meters for 254 meters is what we're doing. That zero is going to stay constant. As you run through your powering, it's not going to change. All right, so this is old school stuff. This is what we used to utilize, and it's still a really good tool today.